One.
Good day, I am Oetukianki. Welcome to our geography class. Our lesson today is based on intensive and extensive farming. So our first objective is, so by the end of the lesson, learners will be able to what? To distinguish between intensive and what? And extensive farming. So by the end of the lesson, you'll be able to understand what is meant by intensive farming, what is meant by extensive farming. You'll be able to differentiate between these two terms, what is intensive farming, what is extensive farming. So the skill that we actually learn, so by the end of the lesson, learners will be able to what? To analyze a picture and categorize the picture that is actually depicted. So you'll be able to analyze a picture. You have to be able to analyze what this given picture, is it intensive? Is it a picture of intensive farming? Is it a picture of extensive farming? So let's go to the value. So by the end of the lesson, students will be able to understand the significance of intensive and extensive farming. So you'll understand, you'll be able to know, you'll be able to understand the importance of what? Of intensive and what? And extensive farming. Before we dwell on what is intensive commercial farming and what is extensive commercial farming, we have to first know what is commercial farming. So commercial farming is also known as large-scale farming. It is also known as agribusiness. So when your examiner actually asks you about define commercial farming, define agribusiness, they're talking about one and the same thing. Commercial farming and large-scale farming and agribusiness is one and the same thing. So commercial farming refers to the what? To the production of what? Of animals or what? Or crops for a profit. So it is mainly profit-oriented. Commercial farming is what? Is the production of animals or crops for profit. So we have intensive farming and what? And extensive farming. Intensive farming refers to the what? To the production of livestock or crops over a concentrated small area of land. So looking at this picture, we can see that there are more than 500 pigs are depicted in this picture, and they are packed in this small room. So, intensive farming refers to the what? To the production of livestock or crops over a concentrated small area of land. Imagine you're actually in this classroom, in the classroom that you're actually in, and then there are 1,000 pigs. It's a pigsty. Yeah. So, extensive farming refers to the production of livestock over a large area of land. So now imagine from the small campus gate to E5. So imagine the diameter, imagine that area of land, and then there are actually 10 cows. So that is an example of what? Of the extensive farming. And this picture depicted here, you see there are actually a small number of cows, but they actually roam around this large area of land. This is an example of what? Of extensive farming. The production of livestock over a large area of what? Of land. So we then go to the differentiation between intensive farming and what? And extensive farming. So in intensive farming, there's high labor and capital use. We are saying that in intensive farming, there's what? There's high labor and what? And capital use. Whereas in extensive farming, there is low labor and capital use. So in intensive farming, there's a large output. The output there is actually large. But in extensive farming, there's a low output. So in intensive farming, it is actually closer to the market. So in extensive farming, it's generally closer to the market because it's actually near suburban areas or urban areas. Whereas in extensive farming, it is generally further away from market. So you may find extensive farm around rural areas. So you know that in rural areas, the markets are actually further away. So the advantage of intensive farming, so it results in higher yield. Whereas the extensive farming, it results in lower yields, but it is not harmful to the environment. And then coming to your activity. So this is activity 1. You have to what? Define the following. You have to define the following. What is commercial farming? What is intensive farming? What is extensive farming? So then we go to number 2. Number 2 says tabulate the what? The differences between intensive and what? And extensive farming. It says tabulate. Tabulate means draw a table. So this is a what? For number 3, this is a case study. So now a farmer has a what? Has a small hectare of what? Of land. He has 200 cattle and 500 pigs concentrated in a small area. He has hundreds of workers maintaining his farm. Question number 3a. Is the type of farming depicted in this case study intensive or extensive? Substantiate your answer. Number 3b. The farmer lost 150 pigs last season due to suffocation. Advise him on what to do to prevent any more loss. You do what? You have to advise him what should he actually do to prevent any more loss of his what? Of his pigs. Never mind, my writing was supposed to be a doctor. So thank you for tuning in to our class. So I should expect the activity in my table early in the morning.